What's going on, everyone? So, Dalton Knecht is having a special season. And I saw this graphic that Dalton Knecht is shooting 52% from the floor, 45% from three-point range, and 93% from the foul line, which he would be on pace for a 50-40-90 season, in which only 9 players in the history of the league have ever done. Now, Dalton Knecht did miss a free throw in the previous game, so he's technically at 89%. He's 16 of 18 total from the free throw line this season. But everywhere else, he's there. So far this season, he's shooting 50.7% from the field. He is shooting 62.1% from two-point range. So it's actually updated stats from this. This is like where he currently sits. And then 53.6% from three-point range on 5.2 attempts. So he's doing it on volume, right? He has an EFG of 64%. So he is on pace to be a 50-40-90 guy, which, look, there's a lot of basketball left, right? And all it takes is, which is why it's so difficult, right? Because all it takes is just one bad stretch. If he has like a 3-game stretch where he goes 0 of 5 in all of those games, right? Like, and it could be the difference between you making the playoffs or not, or, just low, because he's not taking, 100 free throws on the season, right? He'll probably take 50, 60, right? So he doesn't have as much wiggle room to miss. So that's what makes it so difficult, right? You think of the history of the league, right? Kyrie was the most recent back with Brooklyn to be part of the 50-40-90 club. And then beyond that, it's like all of the greatest shooters ever. It's like Reggie Miller, Dirk Nowitzki, Steph Curry. You have Steve Nash, Kevin Durant. You have Larry Bird, right? Like, it's just, you go down the list of guys. Malcolm Brogdon, there we go. I know I'm missing somebody. Mark Price, I think is who it is. Yeah, that's who. You'll have a image on the screen of all the guys, but I believe it's Kyrie is the most recent. You got Kyrie, KD, Steph, Dirk, Reggie Miller, Steve Nash, Larry Bird. I think Malcolm Brogdon and Mark Price, I think, is the list of 9. Like I said, when I edit this video, you'll see the images of all the guys that have been part of the 50-40-90 club. But that list, out of the hundreds of players and shooters, I mean, talk about guys, even like Klay Thompson isn't on that list. James Harden just is second, right? Second all time from 3-point range, right? And he's not it, right? You go down the list of guys that you would think, oh, they got to be on that 50-40-90 list. Never made it. You have guys like Steph, KD, who've made it multiple times, right? It is so rare to do that. And then to do that as a rookie, could you imagine if he did that as a rookie? Now, again, he's not quite there, right? Graphic that I showed at the beginning of the video was again from before the Phoenix game is what it was. So you look at the Phoenix game when they played the Suns and they got just routed by 27. Dalton Knecht missed a free throw. He was 2 of 3 from the free throw line that game. So that was his second miss. He started the season 8 of 8, I think it was, 8 of 8, and then he missed one, and then had a couple more, and then recently missed one in that Suns game. But even with those misses, right, he's right there. 3-point percentage wise, 2-point percentage. Get his 2-point percentage, he'll probably get the over 50%, right, from 2-point range, because he's at 62% from 2-point range, but almost all of his 2-point attempts are off the bounce from being a cutter and a roll man, or, just beating a guy off the dribble, right? He's not somebody that's navigating, getting to the teeth of defense and pulling up over the top. It's nothing like that, right? So it's really going to come down to the free throw line and then the 3-point shooting, right? He's right now sitting at 44% from 3-point range, which is, again, unbelievable. And he's a rookie. And it's not on 1.5 attempts. You'll see guys all the time. Even centers and stuff like that, right? you'll look up their percentages, and it's like, oh, he's a 45% 3-point shooter, and then you look and it's like 0.5 attempts, right? Or it's like 1.5 attempts. No, he's doing it on 5 attempts a game. So he's doing it on pretty fair volume, not like insane volume. He's not doing it on like 8 to 10 attempts, but he's doing it on, especially for a rookie, 5.2 3-point attempts a game, and then to shoot 45 or 44% from 3-point range is massive. So I'm not really worried about the 2-point percentage. I'm not really worried about the free throws, because the only thing that I worry about with the free throws is him not getting, like I said earlier, the attempts, right? Because, if he misses another one, even if he misses one out of his next, like, 5 or whatever, 5 or 6, right? Well, then, again, he's like 87%, right? Rather than going up where he's like, but he made, 80% in that. Yeah, well, you got to get to 90%. So that means essentially every 10 free throws, he's allowed to miss one, right? So he hasn't even at 20 attempts. So basically he has to make his next 2 attempts, and then he'd be at 90%. And then he has to essentially maintain pace the rest of the way. But like I said, he's probably only going to take, 50 free throws this season, because it's not really like what he's looked to do, right? He's more so of just off ball, handing around the 3-point line, taking 5 to 6 threes a game, right? When he's hot, 8 to 10 threes a game. So, that does kind of put pressure in that regard, but I do think he is a good enough free throw shooter. He'll probably be there, and you could argue the other side of that, where it's like, as long as he makes that, like, let's say he takes 2 in the next game, right? And boom, knocks it down, and then it's like, okay, now he's back to 90%. I believe he could keep pace. You can make an argument he won't take enough attempts to where, he'll be fine. As long as he's staying within range, he'll be good. And also, if you're close, right? Like, let's say, there's a game or 2 left, right? Maybe it's like, okay, well, maybe I don't take as many threes, assuming the Lakers are in good shape. It's like, okay, well, I'm at, 45% from 3-point range. I'm at, 60% from 2-point range. I'm at 89% from 3-point range. But if I make, 4 straight free throws, then I'm at 90%. So then maybe he's a little more aggressive, right? Maybe he tries to draw a little more contact than he usually would just to go get that 50, 40, 90. That would be incredibly impressive. But even if he doesn't get it, it's very interesting. Like, I saw that stat and I was like, is that still relevant? Like, is he still there? I knew the 3-point percentage and the 2-point percentage would be, but that was my concern, was the free throw shooting. Because I was like, he did miss one the other day. And then I looked and I was like, oh, he's still right there. He's 89%, right? So he's in range. And again, he's not doing it on, like, he's not doing it on, like, insane volume, right? He's taking 8 field goal attempts per game, 8.4 attempts per game, right? So, but he's not taking it on like nothing. Again, like, you've seen guys, and there's no, like, criteria, right? It's not something where it's like you have to get X amount of attempts or anything like that, right? But it's also, like, guys, like, there's guys that, never played, that took one shot, made it, and they're like 100% for their career from, 3-point range, but they never took a 2, or, they missed one of their 2 2s, and then, or one of their 3 2s, right? Whatever. And then, free throw line, they never took a free throw attempt, right? So it is something that, like, you have to actually do. You have to take reps. And the fact that he's getting that, right? He's getting a couple free throws a game. Nothing crazy, right? He's getting, a couple threes a game, 5 threes, 3 2s. That's good. Again, for a rookie. That's the thing we have to keep in mind. It's a rookie that is doing this. But I don't know. I think it's incredibly impressive. I think it highlights just the player that he is and the impact that he could potentially have this season. The fact that as a rookie, he could end up having a 50, 40, 90 season. And to think that if he does that this year, or at least comes close, to think that he won't do that at some point in his career, I think is crazy. I think he does do that at some point. Now, you could argue maybe not, just because, once LeBron, and especially AD, kind of ride off into the sunset, Knecht probably, gets more attempts, which means, is he able to replicate that percentages across the board, right? When you're taking 12 attempts as opposed to 5, and you're taking 7 attempts, and defenses are on you harder, and things kind of change. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? What did you make of the potential of him getting a 50, 40, 90? Like I said, I just thought it was cool, and I really wanted to talk about it. I was like, oh, hey, he might actually do this thing, right? Like, there's still a lot of basketball left, obviously. You're talking, we just played 18 games, so we have, 63 games left? 64 games left? So, you're talking about, we're, 18% of the season done? Something like that. So, I'm curious to see how this plays out, because he's got a lot of work ahead, and that's what makes it so difficult. But do you think he'll do it? Do you think he won't? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it either way. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.